This is Grimsy here with a movie review. We're going to be reviewing the Batman movie. So basically this movie starts off with Batman being on his journey for about 2 years. He just became Batman. He's trying to figure out what is Batman, at least what Batman is for the city. I felt like that was a really cool aspect that they wanted to discover. It's like a coming of age story, but about becoming the Batman without being an origin story. And I felt like that was a really cool thing that they decided to do. That considering the fact that Batman is new to his job, a lot of people don't trust him, especially the police. But there's also reasons that that could also be effective, which I think are really cool. I like the fact that Batman is kind of a beacon of fear for the criminals in the city. Whenever they see the bat beacon or whatever, the bat light on, they get really scared and then they question, like, committing these crimes to begin with. One thing I really enjoyed about this movie is how dark it was. For the most part, the majority of the movie was filmed during the nighttime, so it was a lot of night shots and everything, and I felt like that's really cool because it goes with Batman being in character for longer. We don't get too much Bruce Wayne in this movie, but I don't feel like it's that much of an issue. If anything, I feel like it kind of didn't show off as much of its character in real life as we would have seen, but I feel like that's for other movies to come. Not really a complaint, but it was like, one thing I really enjoyed about this movie is that they weren't afraid to go to dark places. What I mean by this is, like, the first 20-30 minutes you see the Riddler kill someone in a really grotesque way and put all these clues everywhere in a really fucked up type of way, and they really pushed the limits for what would be acceptable for a PG-13 movie. I felt like it was just dark enough that, like, it didn't need to be rated R, but it was like dark enough where it made it really interesting in a good way, and it wasn't too family friendly where, like, they weren't able to explore certain areas of the plot that they might have really wanted to. And I thought that was cool. I also enjoyed the fact that they made the movie extremely like noir, like detective like work, basically having the Riddler play someone so close to like a real villain like the Zodiac killer, and the way he leaves his clues and everything. They really make him a scary character by doing so, but they also really make it very interesting as well. At the end of the day, Batman is a detective after all, so this was a good idea. Obviously, I feel like they wrote the Riddler really well, and Paul Dano did a great job of, playing him to like his best potential. What they did that was really cool is that they put a lot of similarities as well between Batman and the Riddler. It's like they're two sides of the same different coin. I don't fucking know. They're two sides of some coin, basically. And they basically are both, these characters that are so alike and different in the way they go about things, which is really interesting. One thing I also enjoy about this movie is the way they're very grounded in reality in this universe. Like, nothing is too extreme to the point where it's like unbelievable unless it's like some sort of superpower or like some sort of thing like that. Even the action scenes with the car chase and everything, except for some extreme cases, like, it was very grounded in reality, and I felt like that was a cool thing that they did. Penguin was also a very good character. I felt like he wasn't too over the top, but he was just mob bossy enough, scary enough to, really get like the Penguin vibe across. I like the fact that they also weren't afraid to go into the story that, Bruce Wayne's parents weren't saints to begin with. Like, they were kind of corrupt people as well. Obviously, probably not to the extent as the other people involved, but the whole thing with the renewal fund I thought was genius. The way they brought in the mob bosses into the situation, which could have ultimately led to them dying, was also done really, really well, and I enjoyed that aspect of the movie a lot. Two complaints I have about the movie is that one of them is that I felt like some of the character relationships, though it being a 3-hour movie, some of it felt a bit rushed at certain parts, but I felt like it's because they were trying to deliver too many different plots into a movie at once, that it kind of convoluted some parts of these relationships getting established, but it's not that big of a deal. Second complaint is a personal one for me. It's more of my issue with it. Like, everyone else would probably not have this issue, but I really didn't like how they brought in the Joker for like 10 seconds, giving it that kind of like MCU type vibe. Like, not only has the Joker been done so many times before, but like, I felt like it wasn't really needed in this movie. If anything, they could have just put that in the trailer for like the next movie or whatever, but even so, the Joker has been overdone so many times. It would be cool to see a different Batman villain for once, All in all, this movie was very entertaining with some small, slow parts, but other than that, it wasn't that big of an issue. And it was a very enjoyable movie theater experience. I would put it up there with The Dark Knight easily. This movie is an easy 8.5 out of 10 for me.